Alright, so welcome back to Terraforming Mars Prelude. What's in the box? Okay, so we went over the action type cards. Now we're going to show you the prelude cards. We won't go every single one of them, but we'll probably name them all. Now, in this game, you're going to get 4 random prelude cards to look at, and then you're going to get to choose 2 to keep. Your choice entirely. And then before the game begins, before you even start playing these kinds of cards, you're going to get to play all of your prelude cards and do what they say. And some are pretty cool and unique. And so I picked out 6 that I really like and that are pretty unique as well. Let's go over them. So this one is Ecology Experts, and it has 2 tags. And you can use those tags for future reference for other cards as well. What this is going to do, it's going to increase your plant production 1 step. But what really is cool about it is it allows you to play a card from your hand ignoring global requirements. So a lot of cards prevent you from playing them unless the temperature is a certain amount or the oxygen is a certain amount. And a lot of the plant cards, not all of them, but a lot of the plant cards require a huge amount of one or the other. And so this will allow you to play them at the beginning of the game right away, ignoring those requirements. So that's really, really cool. So that's what makes this card so great, this prelude card. Now, it's only good if you actually have one of those cards. Every player is going to start with 10 cards. They're going to start with 10 of these. And so if they don't have anything that has to do with plants that requires a huge amount of requirements, a huge amount of oxygen or a huge amount of temperature, or the temperature being really high, then obviously this isn't a good one to start with. But that is a good one to start with if you have one of those, at least. Now, this one is another interesting one. It's called the Eccentric Sponsor. Play a card from your hand, reducing its cost by 25 mega credits. I said in the last video, there are a lot of cards that cost a ton of money, a ton of mega credits. There could be some that cost 25. There could be many costing 30, 40, etc. And so this will allow you to play it right off the bat and pay that much less for it. Or pay it free if it costs exactly that much, for instance. So that's really powerful. This is a really good card, as long as you have at least one of those cards that requires at least that much money to play. Now, that does not mean, however, that you can play it. If it requires something that isn't going on, like this one allows you to ignore global requirements, this one does not. And all the other requirements that allow you to play cards, this one does not ignore them. So you'll have to put that into the factor if you're going to hold on to this prelude card for the beginning of the game. Alright, then we have the Allied Bank. And this one is pretty easy and basic. And it gives you an Earth tag to boot. It's going to increase your mega credit production 4 steps. And you also get to start with 3 extra credits at the start of the game. So that's pretty basic, pretty easy, pretty cool though. Then we have the Biolab. This one has a science tag on it. It's also going to increase your plant production 1 step, and then you get to draw 3 cards, which is awesome. So, like I said, at the beginning of the game, you're going to get 10 cards, but you have to pay 3 credits to keep each one. And so usually you're not going to hold on to all of them, because if you do, you're not going to have very much money left. So you always hold on to only the ones you need, which could be 5, 6, 7 at most. But this one is going to give you 3 free cards anyway. So if you have this, there's no real reason to hold on to too many of them, because you're going to get 3 free ones anyway. And remember, you get 2 prelude cards, so you can have another great card, like this one over here, for instance. Who knows? Then we have Research Network. Well, it's got another one of those question marks on it. So this is a prelude card that has a question mark on it. Well, you're going to draw 3 cards. So this one also gives you 3 cards, which is awesome. And then you get to increase your mega credit production 1 step. Ooh, even better. And then after being played, when you perform an action, the wild tag is any tag of your choice. So If you need a particular tag, this is now a tag of any choice you need it for for anything you want, which is really, really cool if you come across that you need that. Then we have the experimental forest. This also has a plant tag on it. It's going to let you place a greenery tile and increase the oxygen 1 step, which is awesome. But that's not all, folks. It's also going to allow you to reveal cards from the deck until you have revealed 2 plant tag cards. You take these into your hand and you discard the rest. So it guarantees that you're going to get 2 more cards that have plant tags on them. That's awesome. And so these are definitely some of my favorite prelude cards, for sure. But there is a whole lot other prelude cards, and so you just never know what you're going to get to start with in the game. So let's go over them real fast. Not all over them, but show you some of them. We got Acquired Space Agency, and this one is very similar to that plant one that guarantees you 2 plant tags. The only difference really is this one is going to guarantee you 2 space tags. So that's really cool. And it also gives you 6 titanium. So that's cool. This one's going to increase your mega credit production by 6 steps, but you're also going to lose 6 credits as well. Business Empire. Martian Industries. Well, this one's going to increase your steel and your energy production 1 step each and give you 6 credits. This one is Early Settlement. Play a city tile. Increase your plant production 1 step. So that's really cool. I like that one too. Then we have Biosphere Support. This one's going to decrease your mega credit production 1 step. Now, one thing to note about mega credit production, all the other productions don't have a minus, but, meaning they can't go below 0. But the money can go below 0 to a maximum of -5. So you can actually be losing money in the beginning of the game if you play this, unless you have another prelude card that's going to increase this as well. But also, or a corporation for that matter. Also, it's going to increase your plant production 2 steps. So that one's so-so. Then we have Supply Drop. You're going to get 3 steel. You're going to get 3 titanium, 8 steel, and 3 plants. What are plants? What do you do with plants? You're probably wondering. Well, with plants, you can turn 8 plants into a greenery tile. And then when you place a greenery tile, it's going to increase the oxygen. So that's the importance of getting a lot of plants. Okay, then we have Mole Hole. Oh, yeah, and Mole Hole is also really useful. This one's going to increase your heat production 3 steps, and you're also going to get 3 heat. Now, what does heat do? Well, what does heat do? It raises the temperature, right? And so, if you turn in 8 heat cubes, you'll increase the temperature 1 step, which is awesome. Now, one thing that makes this different from the plant production is at the end of each generation, all of your power cubes, all of the cubes you have on power, are actually going to be turned into heat cubes. So there are 2 ways of increasing the temperature. You can have a very low heat production, but you can have a very high energy production and still be increasing the temperature that way. What else do we got? We got Nitrogen Shipment. This is going to increase your terraforming rating 1 step. Your terraforming rating does 2 things in this game. One thing, the terraforming rating, and this is your terraforming rating right here, one thing it's going to do is increase your score at the end of the game. Depending on where your terraforming rating is, depends on how much your score will be, plus whatever cards you have that gave you victory points. This is also going to increase your plant production 1 step, and also give you 5 mega credits. Now, the other thing that this terraforming rating does is it also benefits your mega credits as well. So it's going to be whatever your terraforming rating currently is, whatever number that may be, plus your mega credit production as well. So if your terraforming rating was 25, and you had a mega credit production of 5, even though this doesn't have the brown around it, let's just pretend it does, then it would be 25 plus 5, and you would get 30 mega credits each generation. So that's really cool. And a generation's like a round. So you could easily have, 10 rounds in a game, maybe more, maybe less. So, definitely something to note. Okay, then we got On Me Contractor. It's going to increase your terraforming rating 3 steps. And you also get to draw a card. So that's cool. Then we have the Huge Asteroid. It's going to increase the temperature 3 steps. But you'll also lose 5 mega credits. Is that useful? Maybe. Especially if you want to end the game faster, or if you have a bunch of cards that require a temperature being a certain height, this could be useful to you. And also could be useful to other players too. And when you increase the temperature, when you increase the oxygen, and when you place an ocean tile, when you do any of one of those 3 things, you're also going to get to increase your terraforming rating 1 step as well. All right. Then we have Dome Farming. Increase your plant production 1 step. Increase your mega credit production 2 steps. Then we have Biofuels. Increase your plant production 1 step and your energy production 1 step, and you'll also get 2 plants. Molehole Excavation. So we had molehole earlier. This one's excavation. This one's going to increase your steel 1 step, production 1 step, and your heat production 2 steps. And it's also going to give you 2 heat cubes as well. So that's very useful. Great Aquifer. This one's going to let you place 2 ocean tiles. There are cards that require a certain amount of ocean tiles to be out. And there are 9 ocean tiles total in the game. And so some require 2 or 3 or 4 even to play certain cards. And so this could be helpful if you have a lot of those cards. Society Support. Well, you're going to lose your mega credit production by 1 step, but your plant, your heat, and your power production go up 1 step each. Is that useful? Maybe. Maybe it is. Just depends on a lot of factors. Then we have Donation. Gain 21 mega credits. So that's pretty cool. Start with a few extra mega credits. And you know what? We'll save the rest of the prelude cards and the corporations for the next video.